he's such a great head coach. He's such a great players head coach that he saw how bad Jalen Hurts played in those first couple drives, turning the football over, just looking lost at times, not knowing what to do with the football, that Nick said, I got you. I got you. I got you, Jalen. I'll be worse. I'll do the worst fourth down play calls and maybe the history. Nah, not the history because Dan Campbell had worse in the NFC Championship game last year. But I will have terrible decisions where I will put my foot in my mouth and hinder this team and try to get all those critics off of you, Jalen, and they'll be on me.
You wonder what happened in sports today. Brandon Petrilli, he got the wave. We talking a lot with bros today. Cracking some jokes the podcast way. Goals on goals, with homers on homers, tutties on tutties. Got moments on moments. Just tune into BSP. Just tune into BSP. Just tune into BSP. Just tune into Petrilli.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the BSP Media channel. We got another Trillion10 here. We're coming at you after a big Eagles victory over the New Orleans Saints, baby. Yes, it was a victory. And man, it wasn't easy. But damn right, did they kind of dominate that football game? They kind of dominated it. The way the offense held on to the ball in the second half, not the first half, but the way they were able to run the football, the defense played spectacular. Vic Fangio, who I was coming after the week before, he needed to answer the bell, scheme these guys into positions to succeed, and that's exactly what he did. They held that high-powered, all over the place offense of the New Orleans Saints to what, 12 points? Hey, absolutely awesome. I told you this defense has potential. I told you they have the opportunity and the talent to get it done. Vic Fangio had to come and answer the bell, and that's what he did. Hopefully we can keep on doing it moving forward here because, man, it was definitely not a perfect game, but the Eagles, they kept saying it on the broadcast. They were dominating. Time of possession, the yards, everything. They were bringing it to them. And now the biggest thing is why they didn't just straight up blow them out. It's because of the quarterback, and it's because of the head coach. I was kind of thinking my sports radio take here is I think Nick Sirianni was going, he's such a great head coach. He's such a great players head coach that he saw how bad Jalen Hurts played in those first couple drives, turning the football over, just looking lost at times, not knowing what to do with the football, that Nick said, I got you. I got you. I got you, Jalen. I'll be worse. I'll do the worst fourth down play calls and maybe the history. Nah, not the history because Dan Campbell had worse in the NFC Championship game last year. But I will have terrible decisions where I will put my foot in my mouth and hinder this team and try to get all those critics off of you, Jalen, and they'll be on me. And that's what he did at the end of the game, saying, it was me. All the mistakes are on me. I have to do a better job, this and that. So that's kind of where it's at with Nick Sirianni, I guess, a little bit, is he said to Jalen, no, I'll be worse than you. But obviously, it's an interesting situation there where you kind of had to go and this team had to overcome so many mistakes. Jalen is so frustrating, and then he can be good, and then he can be so frustrating. The one drive, I'm not even going to talk about the turnovers because the turnovers are just going to be beaten to death, where I thought we were talking about how he didn't have any interceptions all off season, and now everybody won't shut the hell up about how he has the most turnovers ever in the history of the NFL, right? Whatever it is, the last 6 games. We're going to move past the turnovers. He needs to clean that up. That is obvious. End of statement. But the things that I get frustrated about is you're driving down the football field and it's 2nd and 1 and they go to run a pass play. They're at like the 50-ish yard line and he goes to hit a check down to Dallas Goedert, who was like 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage and gets absolutely nailed, or maybe it was Grant Calcaterra, but he gets absolutely nailed and it's a 4-yard loss. And that 3rd and 1, which would have been fine if you would have just threw the football away like you were probably supposed to if the deep shot wasn't there and you run the ball and you pick up now it goes from that to 3rd and 6. And then you throw the ball under the sticks again to Kenny Gainwell underneath and he doesn't pick up the first down. It's just, his instincts just lack at times. The positional awareness lack at times. The where to go with the ball lacks because that's an opportunity. Okay, we're taking a shot on 2nd and 1 because we feel like we can rush the ball the next 2 times and pick it up if we have to, right? Go ahead. Get rid of the ball if it's not there. We're going to see if we can get a touchdown and then get rid of it. Not these checkdowns. Throw it away. Throw it away. Almost cursed. And then you go the next play and you take another one, which would have been fine the play before, but not now. He's just like in his head a little too much where he's looking, and he's like, I got to do it. I got to make something happen on this play. I got to make something happen on every single play. You don't. You don't. Live to see another down. Don't throw that ball, that crosser over the middle. That's going to get picked off. Don't throw that post route where you know you might not have the right angle. Don't hit that check down where you know your wide receiver is going to get absolutely lit up. Just get rid of it sometimes. Because guess what? Like I've said with Harry, like I've said on 97.5 The Fanatic, this team has so much talent and the offensive coordinator has faith in you can get the ball in any of these guys' hands no matter the down and distance and they can pick it up. You just have to make sure they're in proper areas to succeed, not with their backs and they're coming back towards you and they get clobbered. Get them going with a head of steam, get the ball in their hands, and they'll pick it up every single time. I have no doubt about that in my mind. It's just the little things where you just got to realize that's a bad body position. We're in a bad setup. Just get rid of it. We'll do the next play. We'll set it up better. I have faith in my coaches to set us up in a better play on the next one. Scrap this one. We'll get it. That's kind of where they're struggling, and that's where he's really been ticking me off. Now, with the whole Sirianni stuff, I was joking about it. He's trying to be worse than Jalen. And it was, one of the things was where I was giving him credit last week, not stepping in when Jalen was talking to the team after a loss. And you feel like, okay, Jalen said everything. Nick didn't have to add anything more. He knew his place as a head coach there. He has to realize that he doesn't always need to be in every single 4th down play call. He has to be in the area and listening in, but he doesn't have to override situations. Give the faith to Kellen Moore. And I think he's kind of learned that in his press conferences this past week, where before all you had to do was not outthink things and just run the tush push. We're going to pick it up 2 yards every time, 1.5 yards. We'll do it twice, 3rd and 4th down, because we're that confident in it. Where that's just not as much of a guarantee anymore as it used to be, obviously. But it's still effective. And they're getting too cute with it. He's trying to outthink things. He's trying to think that jet sweep to Saquon's going to go and break for a touchdown like it did for DeAndre Swift there. When you're on the road, your defense is playing well, your quarterback is struggling, and you know it. Take the 3. Tie the game up. Give us another chance because you can figure it out through there. Stop putting them in situations to fail. They've been doing in that second half, great chances to put them in chances to succeed. They were not doing that in the first half. They were not doing that at the end of the game against the Falcons. They started out thinking themselves and trying to do too much. Trust your guys. Trust the talent. Trust the coordinators. Because when that happens, you see them put up big plays. You see Dallas Goedert get a good rub route from Jahan Dotson, break up 3 defenders, and he's going for 60-plus yards. Would have been nice if you got in the end zone there for me, Dallas. Would have won me some cash, but it is what it is. You see the way the offensive line moves and gets upfield where Cam Jurgens is making big impact blocks and you have all these other backups in there stepping up and making plays because of the schemes, because of the coaching to give Saquon the opportunity to go out there and just light it up. Stop putting your foot in your mouth. Stop getting in your own way. Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni. Trust yourselves. Trust the people around you. The talent is there. They don't have to be. The big argument for this whole thing is Jalen Hurts going to be more like 2022 or 2023, right? So far, he's looked more like 2023 with the turnovers, but the stats and everything, he's looking like 2022. He's just got to get out of his way. He doesn't have to be that electric impact guy. He just has to facilitate. He's got to be a point guard. Like I said, going into the season, just got to be a point guard. That's all he's got to do. He doesn't have to be that MVP type guy. He can be there at times. You're going to need that to win football games, and he has that in his chamber. But for most of the game, be that 75% guy. Get it out. Do the right thing. Make the right play calls and just get it in the hands of your playmakers. And they're going to win a lot of football games if that's the case. So it was a good. You lost. I mean, obviously, you went into it without AJ. You lose Devontae on an absolutely dirty hit. If you don't think that's a dirty hit, that's insane. It's 5. He gets blown up, tackled by 2 guys, wrapped up, going backwards for 5 yards. The defensive lineman sees all this and then just decides, I don't care if it's helmet to helmet, to throw your shoulder of a 350-pound guy on a guy that's defenseless, has no any capability to defend himself, and just to absolutely blindside him. It was a car crash. It was like somebody saying that you rear-ended somebody and like, oh, that was on their phone, like, oh, my bad. Oh, sorry. No, that's not okay. What happened? Because now the Eagles are going to go to Tampa Bay down probably your 2 best, maybe 2 of your best talent on the team overall, and Devontae and AJ. I was kind of waiting to do this episode to kind of see how the injuries played out throughout the week here. I'm trying to pull up Twitter real quick to see if there's been any updates on that. But, and then you lose Lane Johnson. Their record's not good without Lane Johnson. But you had the offensive line step in a situation under pressure, and they answered the bell. They were ready to go. That was great to see when Becton down too, and Lane. Tyler Steen and Johnson were able to step in and be able to still not really miss too much of a beat. Cam Jurgens not missing a beat, really. We're not complaining about him like we were week 1, early week 2. They're playing well. They're going to have to lean on the run game. But that's going to be an interesting situation here where you've had these battles against the Bucs the last couple of years, especially in the playoffs, where Todd Bowles has had your number. He's been able to scheme up ways to make your offense look absolutely terrible. And missing 2 of your big guys, it's going to be interesting. This game, as much as I'm saying Jalen's got to be the guy to facilitate, he's got to be the guy just to get it in the plays of his playmakers. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have that luxury right now, sadly. But he's going to have to step up and answer the bell. Not play hero ball, but make the smart, right decisions on offense to be able to drive this team down the field. He doesn't have to do everything himself, but you have to have faith that Kellen Moore and Nick Sirianni can scheme up Jahan Dotson, Johnny Wilson, Paris Campbell, Dallas Goedert, run the ball with Saquon. Maybe use Will Shipley and Kenny Gainwell out the backfield as receivers. You still have weapons. You just got to be a little bit smarter with the way you get them the ball. You can't just chuck it up to these guys. You have to trust the system. You have to trust the scheme. Cannot play hero ball. Trust what you're seeing out there on the field, the way the plays are designed, and they can be competitive, and they should win this football game still. They should. Even without 2 of the best wide receivers in the league, they should still win this football game. There should not be a letdown, and it's because the quarterback is going to have to limit the mistakes and make the right plays. Am I putting a lot of faith in that? Sure, I probably am, because what has he shown you lately? Obviously, that he can't do it. But like I said, if Josh Allen can change, and you've seen the way he's been able to minimize those mistakes where he was a big turnover-prone quarterback to start his career, to where he's gotten this Bills team undermanned, down guys. They've gotten rid of guys. And he's just been able to limit those turnovers and get the ball in the right hands and make plays. That's where Jalen's got to go with this offense for this week. And live another day. Get a win. Go to Tampa. Have the right system and trust it. Because the defense has been able to play well enough for you now, back-to-back weeks, to show you that they can handle themselves a little bit on that side of the football. And they're not going to run the ball. They should not be able to run the ball with Rashad White and Bucky Irving, I think is their other running back. They should not be able to run the ball on you anymore. And I have faith in the cornerbacks to go up against Godwin and Mike Evans, against Baker Mayfield. They should not be getting toasted. They should be able to keep you in this football game where Jalen Hurts just cannot put them behind the 8 ball. Nick Sirianni cannot put them behind the 8 ball with bad, dumb decisions. If they clean that up, if they realize they just got to put the faith in the guys out there, facilitate it, have a good, solid game plan going into this, which I think they can do, they should win this game 24-10. That's the way it should be. And we're going into the bye 3-1, feeling good. Guys can get healthy, come back on the other side of it, and start to go on a run. That's the way that this should go play out. If they go out there and they're sloppy and they're this and they're that, and we should not have those excuses of no AJ, no Devontae, depending on the way the game goes. If Jalen is just straight up not making the right reads, the right plays, getting the ball out of his hands, if he's playing hero ball and they lose because of that, those should not be the excuses that he doesn't have those guys. But if he's doing enough to get them down the field like he was in the second half of that football game, where you didn't have those guys, they should be able to win this game. I don't feel confident. Like I said, it's going to take a while for me to earn that confidence back in them and me. But they should win this game. It's going to be a good game, but they should win this game. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of BSP Media or BSP Podcast. I don't know. We're figuring it out. We're working on a new logo. Go check out the Barbecue video. Go check out the Jason Kelce video. The links are in the description. Make sure you subscribe. Subscribe. Please like, comment on everything. Appreciate it. Even if it's emoji, something dumb, I don't care. It helps the algorithm. It helps push it more and more to people. I appreciate everybody out there. Call me dumb. I don't care. Whatever. Agree with me. That'd be nice too. But yeah, shout out 215 Go Birds. Go check out all the videos. I've been trying to put out good content. Let me know what you think.